just heard me because the way YouTube works. But yeah, I should be live now. YouTube's doing a weird thing with the thumbnail. Oh no, I fixed it. Okay, fixed it when I went live. Cool. But yeah, I switched the stream last moment to the pixel art tool I've been working on in the past couple of days because the chess game, I have to do some networking stuff that would be really boring to watch. It would be reworking stuff that I already wrote, but just doing it in my own framework that uses like faster networking than Flask. But that would be very boring to watch. So I'm doing this for now. This is also what I've been working on in the last couple of days as well, so figured it would make sense to work on it. But yeah, hello everyone. So I might have to skip this section here because, or this thing I need to do here, the color selection, because well, at least for this stream, because the problem is if I pull up, let's see if I can pull up Paint and show you what I'm thinking of. So if I pull up Paint here and I just like try to select a color, so Paint has this setup. I think I like Sprite setup a bit more. This is split up into HSV. So specifically, you've got like in this box, the x-axis is the hue, the y-axis is the saturation, and then this slider right here is the value. So Sprite actually has a different system slightly, where the box is hue and then value instead of saturation. So at the bottom it gets black instead of gray. So and then this slider becomes the saturation. Wait, no. Yes, the saturation. Either way though, if you have a box like this for color selection and then like a slider, this needs to be dynamically updated, I think. Or I guess maybe not in MS Paint's case. That's funny. I guess that is one way to do it. I wonder if that's... Wait, hold on. I want to see what Sprite does. I was thinking about having it where the box actually shows you the real-time color selection options. So let's put up Sprite and see what happens. Let's do a new file. So yeah, so in Sprite you get a different thing. Oh, I know the hue's a slider. I thought this was a saturation, but no, it's a hue. So you got the slider on the hue, and then you can choose between the like this is set. Wait, no, this is what is this? Oh yeah, wait. So to the right is saturation, and up is value. So this is max saturation and value. You can even see down in the percentages, because it's like 0 degrees, like 77, 64%. Yeah. So that's how that works. But if you notice, this is dynamically updated depending on what colors I got here. Let's see if I pull this one. Okay, that one doesn't do anything to it, but yeah, so this is dynamically updated, and if I were to do that for all the pixels in Pygame, that would be pretty slow. I'm thinking there might be a trick to do this with RGB mult. I'm trying to think if I can do that. I don't know if I want to do that though. So yeah, anyways, the reason why I might have to skip this thing for the stream, the color picker, is because you end up with like what, 100 by 100 pixels, and in those 100 by 100 pixels, you like, if you to render that in Pygame, you end up with, what is it? It's 4 zeros, so 10,000 pixels you got to update. every single time you change the hue. I think, yeah, I don't really want to be doing that in Pygame. So what I can do though, and this is why I probably won't do this on the stream, is I can use modern GL to render to a frame buffer to generate the texture for the color picker, which is that gradient. So I can just write a shader to generate that. And then the other thing I wanted to do is have an option to restrict that to your color palette, so that you can only like pick out colors from your color palette, which would be useful. So if I start up the tool right here, you can see I've got some colors, so red, green, blue. But the idea is you get a bunch of colors here, and then down here you can like, well, I'm gonna put the color picker down here, I think, and then I'll be able to restrict it to the color palette so that I'll only see like just these, I guess these 4. I don't know how I'm gonna show the transparent yet, but yeah, so that's the idea. But because I would have to use modern GL, I kind of don't want to touch that right now, just because it's a bit finicky. At least, like, I would be using my own kind of framework I'm building on top of modern GL, but that's a bit finicky at the moment because it's not quite done yet. So I think I'm going to wait on this one, maybe do this in my own time. This one I can do. So this is, when I was saying card picker before, I meant like the interface. This one's a tool. So in this thing, which one of the interesting things I'm doing is that like most things are a tool. So I have my 2 pencils. This is the background color, so this is transparency, and then this is the foreground color, which is just red. And then I have like the grab tool, and then I have a move tool, so I can move this around. Why is it moving? I don't know why it's moving. That's so weird. I don't understand why it's moving. I'm not clicking. Is it moving when I move my mouse? Yes, it is. That is the weirdest thing. I don't know what's causing that. Well, it stops if I zoom out. That's so weird. It should only be it should only be able to do that if I'm... I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. Anyway, so here's the color picker tool. I haven't implemented it yet. So the idea is you just click on the canvas and you'll get that color. So like if I draw some green over here and then I switch to the picker, I should be able to click over here and get the red as my primary color. But yeah, some other things I've got, I can like select stuff, I can move it, I can invert the selection, and then I can move that. There's some stuff that needs to be done, but I have quite a few of the basics done. I need to figure out why it's moving. Anyways, I'm gonna read chat real quick, and then I'll get back to work here. Image UI's color picker. Let me see that. Image UI color picker. Wait, hold on. I've heard of this, I think. Isn't this the thing that they... Is Image UI even available for Python? Or Pygame? I don't think it is. Oh, someone, I guess, did make an implementation of it. That's weird. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, Image UI is meant for OpenGL, but there's a way to get it to work with Pygame. Looks like someone did do that. But yeah, it looks like I could use it if I wanted, but I don't. I want to write something custom. It looks like a good color picker, but I do want to write something custom. Wait, hold on. That looks a lot like Krita's, I think. The triangle and the circle. Anyways, I don't have that on the screen, so I won't talk about it too much. Kinter color chooser. But any color picker I use is not. Is that literally just the thing from MS Paint? It is, isn't it? That's funny. Anyways, yeah, so anything I make would be like, I can't, like, my idea is to have the option to restrict the picker to the palette that you have, which is a pixel art thing, which is not going to be an option if I use any like pre-built color picker, so I do need to write one myself. Which version do I use for GLSL shaders? Like the GLSL version, I use 330 most of the time. I finally started working on that PX editor. It has been staying in... Wait, my desktop or your desktop? Wait, no, you're saying my desktop. Wait, what? You haven't seen it in my desktop. Like, I mean, it's here now, but I just put it here this week. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, what makes me... Wait, but what makes me use... I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. I already use Microsoft Paint and Sprite. Oh, you're asking why I'm making software if I already use MS Paint and Sprite. So I can actually show you why. Hold on. This is a bit of a funny. Let me just pull up the thing here. So if I grab this, there's a little thing called, this is the most popular thing I've ever made, and I barely put any effort into it. So I wanted to remake it. I don't know what's going on here. I just got a bunch of comments this morning, and like 2 of them were blank. But yeah, so I made this previously, and people liked it a lot. So I wanted to remake it, and then maybe like have... So what I was thinking was, like, the old version, you couldn't resize the window. So at first I was thinking I was just gonna make it look... Okay, this is a long time ago. I was thinking I could remake the tool, make it better selection tools when resizing everything. But then I was thinking, you don't really need to resize the window, and a lot of people didn't complain about it, but it is nice to have. So I was thinking maybe I could do a like, you pay like $2 kind of like just for that feature if you want it, just to resize the window. Did the stream just stop and start? What happened there? Anyways, yeah, so I was thinking maybe I could make it so people can pay like $2 or $3 to make it so they can resize the window, but otherwise, like, I mean, they can draw fine in this. It'll be a bit bigger than this. This is a small version. I might add maybe 2 here. Yeah, I'll probably make this a bit bigger. But the idea is to just provide a bunch of updates for free, and then maybe make some paid features as well, but for the most part for free. Increase the font size. Is this like... Actually, I don't know how to do this. It's gotta be in here. Oh, here it is. Let's go 16. I think that should do it. That's a bit bigger. Hold on. Let's do 18. There we go. That's getting pretty big, but that should be good enough, I think. Oh, I just noticed the music's not showing. The hold on. Here we go. Normally I remember to set that up, but I was in a bit of a rush today. All right. Oh yeah, I'm also using VS Code now instead of Atom because of issues after it sunsetted. I wanted to try out some of the kind of alternative text editors out there, but the problem is that none of them were supported by tab 9, and I kind of need that, so yeah, I was kind of stuck with VS Code. Why am I using Pygame? Because I can work faster with it. That's about it. I'll probably be using Atom if I do the like if to finish off some of my tutorial series, just to keep it consistent visually. But for most of my actual stuff, like I'm gonna be using VS Code now just because I have to. I prefer Atom, but I don't really have a choice because GitHub. I don't know if GitHub made Atom to begin with, or if they just like bought it and then shut it down. But yeah, they shut it down because they made GitHub Copilot and they wanted, well, no, not Copilot. They made a different thing. They're making a cloud-based IDE that I don't like anything that's cloud-based. So, yeah. But yeah, they're getting rid of Atom because they want to make a cloud-based thing instead. And I don't know. And the big card costs 1 cent. Nah. You think something's wrong with the eyes? I think it's the avatar's eyes are wait. Yeah, they're usually fine, but I can adjust the levels. Hold up. There we go. Now they should stay open for the most part. I need to fix the part where I turn my head, and because of the way the math works, it thinks I'm closing one of my eyes. But wait, hold on. I didn't have my eyes even when I calibrated it. Hold up. Wait, that's too much. There we go. I think that's right. I'll probably fix that at some point, just not right now. Anyways, I've been talking about stuff for like 17 minutes here. I think it's time to start writing some code. Yeah. So we can't do this stuff. Wait, no, can't do that. But we can do these 3 things. So these are. Okay, wait. This one is not a tool. This one is. Well, these 2 are. So this one's I've already got the artwork for. But yeah, so the way PX Editor works, at least now, this is not how it worked before. Before it was like a million key bindings, and that's how everything worked. But now there's like, it's heavily built up on the idea of tools. So you get a bunch of different tools that can do different things. And then I have this nice menu for selecting tools. That's just gesture based. So I just like move my mouse to the tool I want. And it's just next to wherever your cursor already is. So the idea behind that is that specifically when I'm drawing with a drawing tablet, I don't have a million buttons like a lot of people do. And well, okay, like I guess the professionals do, the way they have like a million buttons. I just have, is it 4 or 8? Hold on. I don't know. I got it back here. I got 4 buttons. Wait, no, 8 buttons. I'm blind. So I got 8 buttons. That's a fair amount, actually. But it's like usually you don't. Okay, well, one way is to do it is to have your hand on the keyboard and your other hand on your drawing tablet. But if you're working just on your drawing tablet, it's a bit of a pain to get all the tools and everything as you're working. So I wanted a gesture-based thing. So like if I'm using a drawing tablet, that works well. That's the idea there. Because you can just move the stylus and then you get the tool you want. Instead of like in MS Paint or something, you'd have to like, and actually I wouldn't use my drawing tablet in MS Paint, but if you were in MS Paint, you'd have to like your tools might be up here, you'd have to pull your mouse all the way up here, find the tool you want, and it's kind of small and get it. So this kind of gesture-based thing, it saves on screen space, and it's like everything's close. Like with this gesture thing, I can make it so there's a tool to the right of this one, so it can loop back on itself, so that doesn't. I can have huge hitboxes, and yeah. So I can cram a bunch of tools in a small area while still making them easy to access. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna work on this color picker tool. I have, what is it right here? Just gonna copy this, make a new file. Wait, do I have? Oh, it's right here. iDrop. So all I have to do, def update self, I've got a decent framework going on here, so I can just do super dot update, and then I just do if self dot activated. So I have like 3 states or 3 booleans that are dynamically updated for the tool. So there's activated, active, and deactivated. It's just like clicking, holding, and like releasing. So under this condition, I can just sample the canvas. So just grab the canvas. So there's a couple ways I can do this. Actually, different tools do this differently. So when you're like picking a color, depending on your layers, and this has layers already, you just can't see it because I don't have an interface for it. But depending on how it handles layers, like if you have, like for example, a transparent layer, or yes, if you have like a 50% transparent layer, just overlaying everything, you might get like colors that aren't in your palette. So for some color pickers, they'll pick exactly what you see, and other ones will just pick the true color from, I guess, your yeah, they would get the true color from your, I guess they have different algorithms. Some of them I think might just take the selected layer. Some of them might pass through if it's fully transparent, so you don't just end up color picking the transparency on top of normal pixels. There's a couple ways to do it. So you could look for, like, you could drop through the layers and look for the first pixel that isn't fully transparent and then pick that. That's what I'm thinking about doing. So I think I have in my canvas a list of selected layers. So if I go over here, yes, selected layers. So I just do, I grab the selected layers. I do for layer in the selected layers. I believe that I gotta reverse it to go top down. I think I'm gonna use a strategy where I ignore anything that's fully transparent, but otherwise I grab the true color. So, and by true color I mean, wait, I'm missing the N here. Yeah, by true color I mean ignoring any opacity on the lower layer level. Anyways, so let's do I think I grab, so this is like the layer ID, and then I can do self.e canvas.layers, grab the layer ID, and then that'll give me a layer object from which I can grab the I have to go through 2 things here. So first I have to go through the surface. So each layer is split up into 2 parts because of the way selection works. So if I pull up the layer here, where is it? Is it? Where did I put it? Oh, layer. Why do I have layer in its own thing under drawing, but GFX is under MISC? That's an oops. Anyways, so in here you can see we get 2 surfaces. So this one's like what's selected, this one's what's not selected. So I have to go through both of those to try to find what I'm looking for. So I do a .get at, and then I pass it the self.e canvas, wait, it, mouse rel. So color equals that, and then if I just have to look at if color wait, so if len color is 3, so that means there's no alpha channel, or color -1 is does not equal 0, then we take it. So we do break, and then we just do it again with the backup surface. This is the unselected part, and then we just go through and go get our colors, and then I'm gonna do a wait, yeah, that's right. At the end, if I didn't get anything, I think, well, no, color should be defined at the end regardless. I'll start it off though with 0, 0, 0, 0. So from here, I can do self.eState.primary color. So this is a bit weird because normally you can use the color picker for either of your two colors, which means left click or right click. Yeah, I think I'll just do primary color for now, and then I'll like do the thing where if it's bound to right click for some reason, it'll do your secondary color. Or I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, because I'm trying to make it so the mappings for the tools are flexible, so you can access them either like you can access them with a key binding, you can access them with like a specific mouse button that you set, you can access them in the tool menu. So right click doesn't necessarily mean secondary color, which is a bit weird. So I might have to figure out how I'm going to handle that later, but for now I'm going to just do primary color equals color. So if I did this right, I should be able to just here, let me just make that a bit bigger. Just draw some stuff here, and then pull out the color picker, and it crashes. Wait, I didn't finish typing that. It's mouse rail. Where'd the mouse part go? I don't know. So that should maybe work. We'll see. So just draw some stuff here, and then we grab our color picker, and it still crashes. Invalid index. What? What? What is color if it's giving me invalid index? Because I don't think colors can be less than 2 values. Wait, it says... Well, let's see here. What is color? How is that invalid? What? How can I not do... Am I... Also, what happened there? Why is that 254? That should be... What? I don't understand. Why is it mad? So... Man. Well, let's do color -1, because maybe that's not what it's complaining about. No, it doesn't like that. Huh? I literally just copied this. Did it get... Is this not like actually a tuple? Is that what it is? Is it like a Pygame.color and it just doesn't tell me that? I wouldn't be surprised. Where is it? Yeah, it's a Pygame.color, but it just shows it as a tuple. That's why. So I can just do this, I think, because you should be able to still index it like that. Oh. What's it? Where did I mess up? Oh, here. Alright, so make this bigger. Let's grab this. Cool. So, I guess you can't index it like that. So what I'll do is, this will become a tuple. I need to figure out what's going on with the colors here and why. Because if you saw what it said, okay. Okay, I need to fix that. Try accept index error. Wait, that's not how you spell error. And then let's just do a return. Just ignore everything else at that point. So we shouldn't be able to color pick out of the bounds of the image. So let's put down our colors here. And then, so I can do that. What? Oh, I know why. I forgot the part where the same thing happens over here. So if it's out of, it should not be out of bounds here if it's not out of bounds here, so I shouldn't have to do that error check again. So let's see here. Oh yeah. So boop, boop, boop. Cool. So this is kind of like an eraser if I select that one. Or I guess not. Huh. I need to figure that out. You should be able to draw transparency to get rid of this stuff. Specifically, I need to figure out how to get the alphas to work properly, I guess. Because if you draw transparency, it doesn't actually erase. I need it to actually overwrite the pixels. I think there's some tricks I can do with blit flags to get that done. Worst case scenario, I can do it in a shader. But hopefully I don't have to do that. Anyways. So the color picker is working. As intended. So that can take that off that list here. I do need to add. I just accidentally hit Control-Shift-W. Really? That's impressive. That's a keyboard shortcut for closing any window in Windows. I don't know. What did I try to hit? I was trying to hit Control S and I just fat fingered Control Shift and also hit W. That's a new one. So I want to add in here, right here. Fix drawing with transparency. Erase. And then, so next up is a resize tool. This is going to be an interesting one. So these two things are different. One of these is for resizing your selection, and then the other one's going to be for resizing the canvas. Alright, I'm going to look at the chat real quick. I can't read everything because of time. But, let's see. You feel like you're the only Pygame developer that doesn't make other scripts. You don't want people looking at your bad code, like as in you're writing all your code in one file, because I did that. I did that for a while, and then I moved a couple things over, like some scripts that I reuse over to extra stuff, and like in game jams I still do this thing where I write everything, like everything for that specific game in that one file. Everything else is just kind of like my framework stuff usually. In larger projects I'll write better code like this, I guess. Yeah. You're working on a level editor, and since the topic is somewhat similar, you're wondering how a full function will work. it works the exact same way, pretty much, like logically. It's an algorithm. You just have a list of, I guess, active nodes or like tiles. In your case, in my case, in my pixel art tool, it would be pixels. So you have a set of active pixels, and you just iterate. You just keep looping over those pixels until there's nothing in that list. Every single time you see a pixel in that list, like during the loop, you set all of the bordering pixels that haven't, I guess, that are on the color you're filling. In the case of in your case, empty tiles, you set them all to active and actually place what you want there. So the next loop around, it'll activate all the bordering stuff. So it's a recursive thing, sort of. Well, it's not a recursive function, but it could be a recursive function, but you don't write it as one. You can look it up. There's things that explain that algorithm better. Also, there's the source code for PX Editor. I mean, you can go read it, see how I do a flood fill. But yeah, it's just the idea of having active sections, and then from those active sections spilling over into other ones, and not spilling over if it's like a different color from what you're filling. So that's about it. Alright. Do I use prettier? No. Do I have tips for writing oop? No. Cause I don't... I'm still getting better at it, like structurally, so I don't like to give a ton of advice yet. I might do a video at some point. It's like, I'm definitely not going to say anything about it like on stream, really, because if I can tell you some stuff about how to do it properly right now, I would need to like think about it. So it would be in a more formal video. And yes, I am using this code because Adam Sutton set in. Wait, someone else is making a pixel art editor? That's weird. I'm curious who that is. Will I make an executable? Yes, I will. I make executables for everything. Windows has 3D Paint. That's not good for pixel art. I don't want to touch that thing. Like MS, like I think if you look at the people that do pixel art in Paint, they all use it like normal MS Paint instead of Paint 3D or 3D Paint or whatever. Is it even a possibility to not use exceptions in Python? It depends. For the most part, yeah, you can get away without using them. But you'd have to put other things in their place. Like I could check the bound, like in this case here, I could check the bounds of this to make sure it's in the canvas, instead of doing try and accept. I don't really care which one I do. It's just this one's easier. Pygame is the only entity that has broken the F4 rule. I believe. Let's do the let's try out Control Shift W. Oh, it doesn't actually work. I thought Control Shift W was equivalent to clicking X. Like Windows would take that hotkey and click the X basically. But I guess not. So applications have to implement that themselves. Yep. Is raw Python or Pygame better for game dev? What do you mean? Those two go together. I don't know what you're asking. Anyways. So, alright, back to what I was doing. The resize tool. For this, I need to grab we'll pull up the tools here. Hold on. Here we go, tools. So I just draw them all in here. I get, here, let me set my, at some point I'll be drawing the tools for the software in the tool, well, in the software itself rather than using MS Paint. But right now I can't save files, so let's do, this is going to be a resize tool. So what I'm thinking, I feel like I can do this. So I'm thinking like put an arrow there, and then like we put an arrow over here, like that. And then right, now we draw the outline. I can't draw. Oh yeah, I need to fix that bug with the canvas randomly moving while I was zoomed in. I'll do that in a moment, actually. Once I get like this tool in there. I think that looks fine. Maybe I should extend this like that way, like a little bit. Just so it makes, like, so it looks a bit more like it can go in either direction. There we go. So that'll be the resize tool. So this goes in here. Tools, we'll call this resize, I guess. Save the picture, and then we can go over to here. All I gotta do, take this, copy, make a new tool. I'll call it resize.py. Paste this, call this resize, and then I can go over to tool mappings, and then I can pick somewhere to put it in the tool selector. So it should probably be around here somewhere. So let's put it like on the right, I guess. Right, we'll put tool resize. There we go. So if I do this, you can see the resize tool right here. It's a bit small, but it's in here now. So this is the move tool, and then this is resize. I might want to fix the move tool at some point. Looks a bit funky. So yeah, I'd like to implement this, but first let's figure out what's going on with like what happened when I zoomed in here. If I zoomed in really far, yeah, there it is. I move the mouse, and for some reason the canvas moves. So first off, let's just start by printing out the position of the canvas. Print self.rect.x, I guess, or top left. That should give me the information I want. So just like zoom in. I think you gotta be zoomed in pretty far. There it goes. So it's moving, and I can see it's moving down here. So the question is, why? Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, this is why. This should only be happening if the zoom changes. So zoom change equals false. Zoom change equals true. Zoom change equals true. If zoom change, the weird thing is that I think mathematically this just comes down to like a rounding error, like, or like just imprecision. Wait a second. Is there any reason for that to be above as opposed to, oh yes, it does have to be. Here. Put that there instead of doing that there. I'm gonna take this and do an OR. So if this OR down, we can set this to true, and nope, there. That's what I'm looking for. That's a messed up way of doing it, but the order there was important. I need to do something before and after it actually processes the zoom. So it's let's make sure it works. So if I zoom in a lot and move around my mouse, looks like everything's working as intended. But can I like do this? Yes. Okay. So the zoom's working the way it's supposed to. And then the drag and around's working the way it's supposed to. So it looks like we're good. All right. Now. All right. So we have our resize tool here. What I can use for our reference here is the move tool. The move tool works similarly in the sense that it changes the canvas based on the selection. Resize, how's this gonna work? So I guess I just do, I'm gonna copy all of this actually. So you're resizing. I can't do it like fully dynamically the way I can with this. So this needs to have like a start and end thing. Oh, this is gonna be funky. I also need to import Pygame. So, wait, also I need this under an update function. So def update self super dot not, yes, that is actually right. So self dot start equals 0 0. Let's just comment this out for now. Why? There's a lot of random things the VS Code does that I don't like, that some of which you can't even change. If self.activated self.start equals self.eCanvas.mouseRel. I believe that's correct. If it's active, let's print out self. So the movement equals self.eCanvas.mouseRel 0 minus self.start 0. Then we do that for the y-axis. All right. So we have our movement thing. Print movement. So we can, if I pull out the tool, it should be able to tell me, like when I click, it's a 0 0. Pull to the right, like it tells you what the offset is from the starting position down here. So now, this is the tricky part. This is where I have to figure out how I'm going to handle this, because the selection needs to show dynamically. Like, I don't have a point of reference for the beginning, basically, is the problem. I can store that in the tool, I guess. So I can copy the selection. And do I copy the whole canvas? Or do I copy all the selected layers? I guess I can copy all the layers into the tool. Just clone the whole thing when I left click. So I have this. So what I can do is when I left click, I just I do self.layer instances equals that, and then we can do a dictionary comprehension right here and say layer ID self.e canvas layers layer ID copy for layer that's not how you spell, for layer ID in self.e canvas layers. There. So print self.layer instances. So the moment I left click, it should just make a copy of like the whole canvas. So boop, and we have it. So here we get main, and here's the layer. So we're going to use that as our reference, and then we're going to have to dynamically update everything from there. So we also have to grab self.selection instance. We're going to want, it's going to be a pair. So self.selection instance will be self.e canvas dot selection mask dot copy, I believe, and then we want this to be a tuple of also the inverted selection mask. If I go over to canvas here, I believe those are the right names. We get, yep, invert inv selection mask and selection mask. So we can print that in self.selection instance, and then it should give us all of everything. So you can see the two surfaces down here, and then we got our layer. So now we have our points of reference, so we can change the current layer based on this, or the current layers based on this. So realistically, we only want to touch the active selection part, I believe, of the layer. So it's already split for us, I believe. We do have to, no, we don't have to recolor split. We take the, well, first of all, let's grab what we selected. And we have to resize that. Wait a second. So in my selection, the way the selection works is a mask of the whole canvas. So in my case, even if I select a tiny box, it's a mask with white for like the tiny box inside the whole canvas. So the idea is I want the canvas to change a certain amount of size as I move my mouse. But like in numbers of pixels, pretty much. But the problem is that the if I just resize the whole thing, the whole selection. If I resize the whole selection, the scale gets a bit wonky because like proportional to my mouse movement. I think I'll just do this. I'll do this the sloppy way first, and then I'll figure it out. So we take the we go. I'm gonna uncomment this stuff. I'm gonna go over here. We get our layer. So the modification, we just take this and then we resize this. So Pygame.trans. Oh wait, no, we don't want to use this as a reference. We want to use the we want to use for layer in self.layer instances. And then it'll be layer ID layer equals self.layer instances layer ID, and then when we do the assignment over here, we want the self.e canvas.layers, and we'll do layer ID. So we're accessing the actual thing when we update this one. All right, so we want to take the layer surface, blah, blah, blah. So this is the reference, and then we want to scale this. So we just do pygame.transform.scale. We'll grab that, and we say layer.surface.getWidth, or wait, hold on, I'm just gonna do new scale, and then we do new scale equals pygame, layer.surface.getWidth, layer.surface.getHeight, and then we say plus movement 0 plus movement 1, and then we have to max this at 1 so that we don't end up with a surface with dimensions of 0, because that's not okay. All right, so we get our new scale, we assign our new scale. This should just be 0, 0 for now. And then we overwrite that selection modification, or now we have to update the selection box. I think I can do the same thing here. Literally just 0, 0 pygame.transform.scale, and then we can just give it the new size. So new scale. Oh wait, I don't need this extra percent in parentheses. All right. This might work. This might not. I lean towards no, because that's typically how these things go. Anyways, let's make our box. Just grab here. Ah, the box flew away. So I know what happened there. So the source here, yep, this is a bad idea. We need this to be the self.selection instance 0. That is what we need. We need the reference to the original from when we started clicking. Now we just draw, we make our box, and then we do this. So you can see it's changing sizes, but it's also changing positions in a way that we don't want. I mean, technically this is usable, but I find this unacceptable. But it's usable because I can just move it around afterwards and then we get what we want. But let's fix the positioning here, then I'll read chat. I'll do the minor fix on the positioning. So what we want to grab is, I guess, the top left of the selection, or no, like the centroid, I think. Wait, is that the right word? Hold on, let me pull up the Pygame documentation to find out what the word for the part of the mask is I'm looking for here. So we go to the mask. There's a thing here. Yeah, this is it, I think. The center of mass of a set of bits. So I grabbed the centroid of the selection, and then that's what I want to change the positioning around. So self.centroid equals 0, 0 for now. When we do this, we want to do self.centroid equals self.selection instance 0, and we want to do pygame.mask.from surface. We give it that, and we do .centroid, and then we can print self.centroid. I don't know what it does. What does it do if there's nothing? Because this is an all black mask. Why is it 31? Is that just the middle? Maybe. So let's draw over here in the corner here. Or actually no, it's not where I draw. It's oh yeah, 31 makes sense because everything's selected as opposed to nothing. So if I do this, should give me that position. If I click here, yeah, 48, 42. That sounds about right. So I'm switching to select nothing. I actually can't draw. You can't tell because the select all and select nothing looks kind of the same because it can't show the outline. But let's see what happens if I click this. So it gives me 0, 0. Okay, that's fine. It's not like you can't move it if there's nothing there anyways. So you can't move it if there's nothing there anyways. I don't know what I'm speaking. I think I've been speaking too much. Blah, 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 blah. Alright. So we've got our centroid. And then... So this is going to be our point of reference for everything. So we get our new scale and our old scale. So we get... From that we can calculate a scale difference. So scale different... Scale diff, whatever. New scale 0 minus... layer.surface.get width. And then new scale 1 minus layer.surface.get height. Can't type. Alright. So this is our difference in scale. And then wait, is that what I need? Hold up. So if for example the centroid is in the middle of the canvas, then I need to subtract half of the scale diff from the rendering position? I think so. Wait, it's half if it's in the center. If it's on the left, like a quarter from the left side, then... I'm trying to think how it mathematically works. What? I might have to draw this one out. Alright. So we get ourselves a box here. Let's say this is a canvas. Let's say we resized it to be this big. And our point of reference is the center. Or center. Whatever. I don't know where the center is. It's somewhere around here. So yeah, our point of reference is like that's let's say our centroid is there in the center. In this case, you want it to be scaled like this. Now, if for example, I'm gonna do this box a bit differently. You want something like this if your point is right here. Or I'll do it in orange so you can see it. And then let's say... Well, actually, that should give us a hint right there. Is it minus the... Wait a second. So if I put one right here... And then I do that. I think it's just minus proportionally to where you want it. So like, if I went in the center, that's like 50% across the canvas, then I subtract half of the difference. So if it's right here, oh, let's see. Well, I don't know. If it's 0, 0, then I subtract nothing. It all gets added. So, so the centroid is going to have to be self.centroid equals self.centroid 0 divided by self.selection instance 0.getWidth. And then self.centroid 1 divided by self.selection instance 1 0.getHeight. Alright, so that'll give us like a ratio, or not fraction. It's also a ratio, but it's a fraction of like how far across it is. So from here, I believe I do minus scale diff 0 by self.centroid 0. I think that's correct. And then we do 1 by self.centroid 1. And then this, I'm actually going to call this offset here. Offset equals that. And then we take the offset. And then we drop it over here. Alright. Let's see if I did it right. Maybe. Who knows? Usually the answer is no, but we'll see. Wait a second. That's everything. I want the, so... Okay. I mean, technically, yeah. At this point... Huh. Should it even be the center at this point? Because it's jittery? Yeah, it's pretty jittery. I don't know if I like that. I mean, it works the way it should. It's keeping it in the same spot. It's working around the center. But it's really jittery because of the way the scaling works. What I can do is get the bounding box of the mask. And then resize that. And then draw that. That should work, I think. Yeah, just take the bounding box. And then the reason why this is so jittery is because it's got a surface the size of the canvas. It's moving around, and then it's doing all the maths to calculate where everything should be after that. Which means that there's multiple levels. There's a level of imprecision in multiple points, which causes jittering back and forth. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But I can fix that if I remove one of those elements, which is the whole resizing the whole canvas instead of resizing the selection. I could do that. I could also leave that for later. Because for now, I'm kind of fine with the way that works. Hold on. I want to see, like... If I zoom in a ton, what does it do? Okay, I think that works close to what I want. Alright. So I'm just gonna take note for later and say, improve scaling tool, or let's call it the resize tool, by cropping out, or by using bounding box of selection rather than whole canvas for resize. This should also run faster too. Also normalize scaling based on mouse movement. There we go. So I can take that off my list. So the last thing is canvas resizing. I always said I wanted to do it today. I'm gonna read chat real quick though. There's a lot of stuff in here. Alright. What differentiates Pygame from raw Python on game development? I mean, Pygame is the visual portion. Alright. Do I recommend Python on Pygame? Yeah. Why do I always speak with vocal fry? Oh, it's made my audio might be a bit high. I keep forgetting to turn it down. So what it is that my audio levels for my microphone I set up with the idea in mind that I was streaming when I was really sleepy, and I'm not too sleepy today. I'm speaking louder, so it's going too loud for my microphone, so I got, well, not my microphone, for the levels I have it in OBS, so I gotta turn it down. Let me know if that's better. Because I just turned it down. Pix editor update. It's a complete rewrite. It's not meant to be an A-Sprite killer. I mean, it is for me. I want to make this so that it works better with my workflow than A-Sprite does. There's not a whole lot of stuff to improve. There's some stuff with the palette that I want to change. And then some of the animation stuff, and then maybe add some tools. And then, I guess, like, so the biggest thing for me is the file opening and export process. It's a weird thing for most people, but specifically as a game developer where I'm dealing with tons of small images, I need to be able to open and close stuff quickly. So that's something I want to work on. Make it better. That's a weird thing that most people aren't going to notice, but that's why I would be using it. And that's actually why I use Paint over A-Sprite a lot of the time, because I don't want to deal with the export process and like the opening file process and everything. Like if I open A-Sprite, I think I can make it so that A-Sprite is the default for opening images, but I also don't want that because I'm not a huge fan of, let's see. So let's say I draw some stuff, and I select, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's actually, there's some generic random things I'll do with MS Paint, just for generic image manipulation that isn't pixel art, and I'm not sure, I would have to start counting, but it might be a little bit more work in A-Sprite. Regardless though, from here you go new file and everything. You could probably set A-Sprite as what you use to open PNG files. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Regardless though, if you want to, I'm not sure if you open a PNG file and you hit save, does it just write to the PNG file? That's what I guess we'll do. So, but here's the thing where I kind of take issue. And this is actually extra features that I don't like. So you get hold on. You get like a bunch of options here, and then even if you go and hit export, oh wait, no, so you can't hit export here. You gotta open this up, select location, and then you go through all this stuff, and then after that, it's like several clicks to get through the export process, which is annoying. I don't like that. I think there may be a way to do it faster if I'm like opening PNGs directly and maybe saving them, but there's some other random things where there's some extra clicks I don't like. It's just a small amount of time saved that I want to work on. And then I think there might be some random stuff with the tools, and like I can add my own tools easier and stuff like that. So there's just random small things that I want. But so yeah, it's meant to be kind of the A-Sprite killer for myself, but not for other people. I think for most people, they're gonna find A-Sprite better. The point is that the majority of this program is gonna be free. If you want to donate, or quote unquote donate, the extra, I guess, so it is paid for, the extra functionality to resize your window, it's going to be like A-Sprite's $15. This is going to be like a couple bucks if you want to resize the window. But you get all of the functionality you need for free, and that's the point. So it's not supposed to be better than A-Sprite, it's supposed to be cheaper than A-Sprite. Because there's not a whole lot of good options, I don't think. There's some decent stuff out there, but it's not a very good workflow, especially for animation. So that, yeah. One of the main purposes of what I was working on before with PX Editor was to make a good animation tool for pixel art. So yeah. Anyways. Is Pygame easier than Pyglet? Yes. Also, Pyglet's, I don't think they're really working on it anymore. Maybe people are bringing it back? I don't know, but I haven't seen anything on it in a while. How does that lighting dust particles, what? Are you talking about the fireflies in the background? I did a live stream where I wrote those, like, just look for the Gleam Stream live streams. Wait, no, I think that was a time lapse. I don't think I live streamed it. But you can read the code. They're just fireflies. You want to build a neural network from scratch? Have fun with that. Especially if you're doing that from scratch in Python. Like, it's good for learning. I've done it, actually. I did it, like... Ooh, how many years ago was that? That was, like, 2015, I think. Yeah, like, 2015? 2016, maybe? No, wait, yeah, I was 15, I think, when I did that. So it was 2016, maybe, I wrote one from scratch. It's not performant to do it in Python, like to write them from scratch in Python. Normally you use them with Python, you don't write them from scratch in Python, but it's a good learning experience to do that. But, hey look, it's a bot again. And it's not even, it's annoying because it's like 3 accounts. So I have to go and report every single one of them. Alright. What am I doing now? I'm reading chat because I go through phases of 40 minutes writing code and maybe 20 minutes reading chat or something. Snap it to pixel scale. Are you talking about the resizing from before? That's not the issue. It's already snapped to pixel scale. Am I building this tool for a jam? No. Although the Ludum Dare's happening right now, I'm just not participating. I thought about participating, but I didn't feel like it. Because I just finished Q-flowing. It's a bit quick to throw in another game jam scale game, so I might do the next Alka Jam. I think that's in February. Did I drop the video about the chess battle? Well, it's Battle Royale chess, but so I mean that's the live stream series I was doing, and I mentioned at the beginning of this one that the next thing I have to do for that is really boring, like unusually boring, and not only that, but I have to focus when working on it. So I don't want to live stream that until I get through that. So I might live stream this for a few weeks, not only because it's my main project, but also because it works better in a stream a little bit. Still not great, but yeah, so I'll bring the chat stuff back later because it's almost done. It's just so close to being playable. I just have to fix the networking. At some point I will have a playtest where people can play that game, and if people like it, I'll continue it, but I don't plan on dropping that. Alright, oh, does the description still say that? Oops. Hold on, I can fix that. Okay. I fixed the description. I forgot about that. I changed the thumbnail and title, but I forgot about the description. I also forgot about the tags. I think it's like running on some game dev tags. Maybe it has chess in the tags or something like that. I don't know. But I'm too lazy. Haven't I already made a pixel editor? Yes, I'm making a better one. That's the point, because the last one was so popular. What's the difference between Aseprite and LibreSprite? LibreSprite's free and open source, I think. Or I think Aseprite's open source too. Is it? I don't know. LibreSprite's free. Oh yeah, that's actually what I'm competing with, I think. But a lot of people don't know about it. I don't know what the difference is. I wonder if it just has worse like selection tools or something. I don't know what the difference is. But LibreSprite's probably gonna be pretty close to what I'm making. Let's see. Someone asked this on Reddit, and it got deleted. Yes, this is why Reddit's awful for advice. Wait, let me see. So it's a fork from 5 years ago. Interesting. So, yeah, that's kind of the competition, I guess, but a lot of people don't know about it, and it's a little bit obscure just because it's hiding behind Aseprite. Yeah. Still, I mean, there's my use case as well, where the workflow, like my intent is to make the workflow better in this than Aseprite, at least for my use case. So there will be random small things, like if you're using a drawing tablet, it'll probably feel better to use my thing, and then also if I'll probably be doing some stuff with palettes. I'll probably have some extra tools that LibreSprite won't have. So it'll be a bit different. Alright. Have I done vector art instead of pixel art in my games before? No. There's not a good reason to do that. The point of vector art is that you can scale it to infinite resolution, which is the opposite of what you have with pixel art. Well, instead of pixel art. But also no, because I'm a pixel artist, so I work with pixels. That's what I do. If I make a game with vector art, or just say even normal art, it's gonna look questionable. But also, vector art people don't really use for games. I mean, you can probably... Vector art's more popular for like user interfaces and like websites and stuff. It's not very popular for games, I don't think, because you don't really need the infinite resolution. The equivalent of vector art in games would be 3D, where you define things as models, where like with vertices, where you can infinitely zoom in. But for like most stuff, you don't need the like 2D vector art. That doesn't make much sense. But if you're talking about just like non-pixel art stuff, yeah, it's not my art style. I'm not good at it. I mean, I'll probably be decent at it, but I don't want to do that. It's also slow. Like, one of the advantages of pixel art is that you can work faster. So, as a solo developer, that's kind of what I need. How do I monitor performance with Pygame? If you've got, where is it? Right here. Wait, yes. You can do print self.clock.get FPS. So you get, if you take your pygame.clock, you can do .get FPS on it to get your frame rate. Although that'll be capped at whatever you put here. But if I want it to run faster, I can put like 600 and then see what the actual cap it hits is. So that's one way you can check. You can also use the time library and measure the change in time between frames and calculate it yourself. That's how you check it. Now, if you want to see which parts individually are slowing your program down, there are profiling tools you can use, which I've used for Vagrant. But for the most part, if you know what you're doing, you kind of know where your lag comes from. And you can just optimize as you go without having to open up a profiler. What's the hackiest piece of Python code I ever wrote? Probably a lot of my game jam stuff. Most of the release stuff is the hacky stuff, actually. Alright. How long does it's the Alakazam, not Alakazam. The Alakazam lasts 2 days, for the portion I participate in. I think there's a 3-day portion as well. I can't remember. I think the 3-day portion might be unranked. I don't know. Yeah, I think that both the team and solo are 2 days, I think. And then the 3-day portion is unranked. Whereas the Ludum Dare, I think the team portion is 3 days. And the compo is 2. I might be remembering that wrong. But anyways, yeah, for the most part 2 days for Alakazam. That's why if you look at my time-lapse videos, they'll say like 4 to 8 hours or something. Actually, no, they're shorter than that because I usually put down the time, the development time instead of the actual time span I developed in. Can I show what I've got till now? Hold on. So I can draw, I can change my brush size, I can change my color, I can pick colors, I can drag around, I can select, and then I can restrict where I draw based on the selection. I can invert my selection. It says only outside. I can move my selection around, I can resize my selection, and that's kind of what I've got. And I can deselect, obviously. So that's what I've got so far. That's where things are. It's technically layers as well, I just don't have the interface for it yet. So that's where I'm at. The next thing up, which I'm probably not going to have time for at this point because I've been reading chat for a while, is the canvas resizing. Because right now it's locked to 64 by 64 pixels. So I need an option to resize that. And then... Ooh, layers are coming up soon. I'm hoping maybe I'll do this today. Is my plan. Like after the stream. I'm not gonna stream all of this. Hopefully I'll get this done today, and then it'll start really looking like PX Editor, the released version. Fun fact: I still don't have undo and redo, or copy paste, or flood fill, or I can't even save my images yet. Anyways, yeah, that's what it looks like right now. LibreSprite feels like an outdated version of Aspray. Both are pretty good. Interesting. Aspray is free if you want to compile itself yourself from the source code. Oh, I thought that's Huh. I remember people talking about that, but I think I was mixing that up with LibreSprite as well. So I was thinking LibreSprite was the code you could compile, but I guess not. Interesting. But compiling it yourself shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. I would imagine on like Linux, if it's available on Linux, I would assume it is. I'm assuming you just get a make file, you just go in there and just do make. And then you also have to get your dependencies as well, probably. But I don't know how you do it on Windows. Probably wouldn't be too difficult either. There's probably tutorials for all of that anyways. Where does the word vagrant come from? It comes from the word vagrant. You take the E out of vagrant and it's an actual word. Just look it up. Do I use spreadsheets for my games now? I use them for some things. I use them for tile sets, and I've used them for tile sets for years. For the animations, I don't use spreadsheets. I use individual images. That's because well, actually, it started off as that's easier to work in for me, and then it became that's what Sprite exports as. Well, actually, no, PX Editor exports as a sequence of PNG images, and then Sprite does the same thing. I think, like you can make it do that. So that's what I've been working with, and yeah, that's the whole reason. It's just that's what my tool set exports as. So I just use a sequence of images for that. But yeah, for tile sets, I'll make the spreadsheets because it's easier to just open up one image and modify the whole spreadsheet at once. So it varies. How do I balance difficulty and enjoyment in my game design? I don't. You ask people that have played like all my games. Well, I don't know. Maybe you have, and maybe you like them or something. I don't know. But most people that have played all my games complain about how the difficulty is not well balanced. And it's because I usually make my games to be entertaining for myself first, which means they're brutally difficult usually. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about that usually. In my release games, I do try to balance it a bit, like the paid release games, and I just play test. That's how I figure it out. And usually they are on the difficult side a lot. Am I gonna add a custom color function that takes RGB or hex? Yes, I will make something that takes RGB, but the main thing will take will be a visual interface. I do like the option to type in the color, because for some things you do need very specific colors, like sometimes, like for example in Shifting Edge, I used MS Paint as my level editor, and very specific colors were different tiles. So sometimes you want specific colors as opposed to just roughly selecting them based on a visual tool. Will I continue my progress on Vagrant anytime soon? I'm busy with some other stuff right now. So like there's the multiplayer projects, both the chess thing and the platformer thing. I have some contracting work to I have multiple contracting work things to do. And then I also have, I'm a full-time student, and I've also got like a part-time job, like software engineering job. So I've got a lot going on. So at least in the next couple months, probably not. But I mean, you can see it's still in my active folder here for projects. I just busy with other stuff right now. What was my progress for learning Pygame like? When did I start? Where did I learn everything? What started, etc. I started because I was bored. I started when I was 12, which was 2013. Yeah, I was doing it out of boredom, so I was just kind of figuring it out as I went. I started with the inventing games with Python thing, except I didn't do the Pygame portion. I just did the Python portion. So I learned Python that way, and then I learned the very basics of Python, but I was able to use those basics to do a lot of stuff, but I slowly learned more and more stuff over time. Fun fact, it took me like 6 months to start even using lists. So I got the basics and I just kind of ran with that, and then I slowly started picking stuff up later. Like, I didn't get into object-oriented programming until maybe 4 years in or something. I don't even know. It took a while. How is it with the face tracking project? I haven't written any updates for in a while. I definitely need to update it. Like, for example, if I blow my head back pretty far, the way the mouth movement works isn't very good. It's not as accurate. It has some weird math. And then the eyes are like, if I turn my head a bunch, like one of the eyes will close usually, which is a bit weird. So there's stuff I need to do on it, but I haven't worked on it lately. But yeah, so like for me with learning to program, the big thing, like I wasn't making, like it was very off and on until I discovered game jams. That's when I really started to get involved. Do I ever look at Stack Overflow or do I always look at documentation? It depends. Sometimes it's the stuff you can't find on the documentation that's on Stack Overflow, and sometimes it's the other way around. And it depends on what I'm doing. Like different types of questions work better in different like sources. So for some questions I might have, it's better to go to documentation. For some, it might be easier to find answers on Google, which would take me to Stack Overflow. But like for Pygame, there's almost no question I could ask. Actually, there might be no question I could ask that I would be likely to get an answer on Stack Overflow. Actually, no. The stuff I might get an answer on Stack Overflow for with Pygame is actually the sprite stuff because I don't use it. But for the most part, I would just read the documentation. Like, I know Pygame well enough that the main thing for me is just kind of random small details for how things work that are in the documentation, and then the like order of arguments in function calls. So I'll have to look those up, but that's like in the documentation. There's no reason to go to Stack Overflow for that. But I very rarely pull up stuff for Pygame anyways, aside from I guess I do occasionally pull up the documentation for mask stuff because I've only been really getting into masks with Pygame in the last maybe couple years. So yeah, it depends. But yeah, when I'm like working outside of Python and Pygame, I will end up pulling up Stack Overflow. You were working with C and C++ at your college. One semester, they teach you Python in such a dry and bad way, essentially about pointers and how, what? Hard it is to manage items from the list in memory. What? You're saying, I'm not sure what you're saying there, because are you saying they're teaching you about pointers with Python, or you learned C and C++ for the pointers? I'm not sure what you're saying. What are my thoughts on the new AI advancements? That is going to be the next video I make, specifically AI art. Because I'm in an interesting situation, and funny enough, that the stuff I'm working on right now lines up with that. I'm writing software for artwork right now, which is funny. But yeah, like I'm a game developer. I'm an artist and a programmer, and I've been doing both for the same amount of time because I started pixel art when I started programming. So both of those things I've been doing for like a decade. So I have an interesting take, I guess, on the AI art stuff that I was probably gonna make a video about. There's other advancements as well, so there's like ChatGPT and stuff, but I might make a different video about that at some point, but that's not what I'm making my next video on. Although I've used ChatGPT instead of like Google for a couple of programming problems I've run into with so I was working with Modern Jail, and like ChatGPT can answer some generic OpenGL questions. So like sometimes I'll ask it about some random things about maybe how frame buffers work, and then it'll be able to tell me. So I can ask it general questions, and if I don't understand something in its response, I can ask it to elaborate, which is very convenient. You're not gonna find that like but on a Stack Overflow answer. There's no back and forth. Yeah, it's like ChatGPT is really useful, but I may make a video about that at a separate time. The AI art video will probably come out within the next 10 days, is what I'll say. My goal was originally this weekend. I don't know if it's gonna happen, because I haven't even written a script yet, but I don't know. We'll see. It depends how long it is, how long it takes to edit and stuff, and how much free time I got. I'll probably start working on it this weekend. I just probably won't finish it this weekend. Do I have any huge goal in life? Well, in terms of what you see here with my channel and stuff, I mean, like, in terms of programming and stuff, I would like to become self-employed. That's my goal. Well, self-employed doing kind of whatever I want to do. Like, right now, I decided I wanted to make a pixel art editor, or pixel art software. And this is something that could make me money. And then there's, I could make YouTube videos, or I could make games, or other stuff. I've made all sorts of other stuff that brings me money too. So the goal is to scale my stuff to the point where I can make a living off of it, which would be really cool, because like I've gotten to a point where I figured out how to make money off of most of the random stuff I make. So it would be really cool if I could just sit down, make whatever I want, and still get paid. And I'm heading in that direction. I'm getting pretty close. I could already afford to live in some places, just doing what I do in my own time, and just taking a little bit of contracting work as well. So I'm almost there. I just have to scale things up a bit, and I don't put a lot of time into this stuff anyways at the moment, because I mean most of my time goes into like well, video games, well, the combination of video games, school, and my actual job. So I don't get a whole lot of time to work on my own stuff, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, well, I mean, some of it's my own fault with the video games, but the rest of it isn't. But yeah, I'm hoping to be self-employed in 2 years, maybe. We'll see. You're almost done with your first commercial project using Pygame. Nice. ChatGPT is not available in your country. That's unfortunate, but that's also what VPNs are for. Oh, speaking of making money and VPNs, I'm not gonna take any sponsorships for VPNs, but something I was noticing is that Linode, which is the service I use to run my servers, so like my websites and stuff, they have a partner thing where you can actually just straight up get paid through like an affiliate link. So I might start doing that, where I start like putting that in the description of my videos to get paid a little bit extra, and try to become a bit more self-employed through that. But one of the things you can do with that is you can actually just set up a VPN and not use the like, you can set up your own VPN like by renting a server in the US and using OpenVPN, which is open source VPN software. And then you can use ChatGPT. Magic. But yeah, I'm a bit sketched out by the VPN companies. Like, I mean, I have my own VPN set up that I run through one of my servers that I rent, as opposed to using a VPN service. But also, like, I mean, what is it, like $5 a month? I don't know what the standard prices for the VPNs are now, but I mean, you can rent a server for $5 a month, but you don't just get the VPN, you also get the ability to do other things like set up a website or run some other services. You can use it like just a computer that's always on to do some processing or something. So there's a ton of use cases you get outside of that. So look, I'm not interested in like promoting like the direct VPN services. I think some of them have reached out to me to try to get some sponsorships, but most sponsorships they say no to. If I were to guide someone in learning game dev with Pygame, what would the roadmap look like? I made a video about that. The video I made was more general than just Pygame, but it applies to Pygame. It's the what did I call it? What did I call it? It's one of my most popular videos. It's the one that I did the Tab 9 sponsorship in. I forgot what it was called. It's literally my most popular video. Oh, not my. It's not my most popular. It's one of my most popular. It's my fourth most popular. It's called How to Actually Get Into Game Dev. Like, yeah, right here, this video. Watch that video if you want to know. Anyways, so my throat's getting a bit tired. And I did get a couple things done here, not as much as I would have liked, but I think I'm gonna end the stream here, and then I'll probably work on the stuff in my own time. So I'll probably keep posting updates to my Discord server, but yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you guys next week probably. Bye.